poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out? Oh my God! Wow! Wow!
Hey, what's up guys? Eric Wong here, and I'm back with another BIOMECH breakdown. Now, it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I got asked by one of my most loyal, I guess, customers, athletes, Patrick Ramberg, Patrick R from Norway. Shout out, what's up, man? He asked me a while ago about doing a BIOMECH breakdown on Edson Barboza's spinning back kick knockout of Terry Etim at the UFC in Rio. And yeah, just getting around to doing it now, but better late than never. And I think you're really gonna dig this video, because what I'm gonna do is, it's not gonna be a tutorial on how to perform the spinning wheel kick. You can find those on YouTube, maybe here or here. There's a couple tutorials that you can check out. You might even want to talk to your crew or your shihan or your sensei about learning this kick. But what I am going to do is explain the biomechanics of something called the stretch shortening cycle. And this is going to help you develop power in not just this kick and other kicks, but all your strikes, elbows, knees, punches, everything. So it's going to make you a lot more powerful and a lot more dangerous. And I'm also going to give you a simple drill to work just with your hands, so you can actually feel exactly the difference between taking advantage of the stretch shortening cycle, or I'm going to call it the SSC from now on to save myself some syllables. But it's going to help you to understand it better so you can actually put it into practice. Okay, so without further ado, let's take another look at the kick in slow-mo, and then I'm going to break it down for you and show you how to take advantage of the SSC and maximize your power. Okay, so what I want you to watch here is see how he stepped back into the first and then he went forward into the kick. That's the first instance where he takes advantage of the SSC, because that little step back before going forwards is called a counter movement, basically. So if you're jumping, then instinctively your body knows to dip first before you explode up. That's going to help you jump higher. Well, Barboza is doing this right here to initiate the kick, and that's why it's such a powerful, that's one of the reasons why it's such a powerful move. So let's take a look at it. Boom, see ya. Okay, now we're going to see another angle here, and we'll see the same thing. I'll try and slow it down, pause it for you. So you see it step back, boom, and then drives forward off that foot. Off that back foot, he drives forward. That changes his direction and starts kind of the whole process of this kick. Okay, so that's the first instance where he uses the SSC, is stepping back and that counter movement. So it's much like if you're boxing, for example. It's a lot easier with boxing as opposed to this crazy spinning wheel kick that he pulls off. But if you're boxing and you move your head this way and you pivot into that left foot or your lead foot, so I'm conventional here, and if I'm moving my head to the left and I'm driving my weight off that left foot and then I drive up into the hook, that's going to be more powerful than just a hook from standing without any movement in my lower body at all, or any twisting in my torso. So it's the head movement, the weight shift over to my left foot, and then coming up into the hook. That makes it a lot more powerful. That's the same idea. It's the SSC. I apologize if you hear this squeaky chair. I gotta get some lube up in there. But let's go to the next point here with the kick. Now, the point I want to make is, you see how he started spinning with his arms, and then he turns the rest of his body, so it's arms, torso, hips, into the knee, into the legs, and finally ends up in the foot. That's the summation of forces. Summation of forces is basically, if you time everything right, then you can develop force from the ground and transfer it up to, say from the ground, transfer it up to the hip, and then you generate some more force in the hip, you transfer it up through the core, you generate a little more through the core, and then in the shoulders, you generate some more in the shoulders, but you keep adding forces as you go, and that's what helps you develop maximum power. That's why a jab is not as powerful as a hook, generally. If you're just doing a standing jab and you're not stepping or anything, you're just throwing the jab out, it's basically just arm and maybe a little bit of torso. But a hook, you're rotating everything right from the ground up, from your feet into your hips, into your core, into your shoulder, into your fist. And that's why it's a lot more powerful. Okay. Another point I want to make, this top view is really good. Let's take a look at that again. So the top view, what you see is Barboza keeps his body compact. So here he's spinning. See his knees bent, and everything's tight in close, and it's kind of like a figure skater. So if you ever watch, you're not going to admit it, but if you ever watch figure skating, what happens is when they do the spins, when they put their arms out and their legs out and stuff, they spin a lot slower. And when they want to go faster, they bring their arms in close and keep their bodies really tight. And that allows them to generate more velocity. But what happens here, what Barboza has done is he's kept his body really tight during the spin, and then at the very end he extends his leg, and that explodes and sums all the forces that he's generated. So maximal velocity, he's used the stretch shortening cycle off the counter movement. He's spun, he's used his arms to start creating the spin, and he's kept his body really tight and compact to generate maximal velocity, so that when his foot lands, it's lights out, basically. Okay, now there's one last thing to take a look at here. Let's see here, right here. So you can see at the very end, he's compact, and he extends the knee at the very last second. Basically, when his foot is about 1 foot away from Etim's head, that's when he extends his knee. And that is how he got that summation of forces. And he fully took advantage of that. If he would have extended his knee earlier, then, like I said, he would have extended his body, it would have slowed down the rotation, and there would have been less power in the kick. Okay? Other points here. That's about it. I mean, that's the spinning wheel kick. That's the knockout that Barboza did of Etim, and that's how it went all down in terms of physics. Now, I want to give you one more example of the stretch shortening cycle. Now, the way to think about it is it's basically like an elastic band. Now, you might know that with our muscles, tendons connect the muscle to the bone. And there's a lot of debate and a lot of theory, but there's a few different ways that people have been explaining it in terms of elastic energy. The stretch shortening cycle is all about taking advantage of elastic energy. There's only so much power you can generate muscularly, but the elastic energy is what separates the kind of amateur or pretty good athletes or fighters from the elite or world-class athletes or fighters. So if you think about it, muscular power, I've got this elastic band here. Muscular power, if it's just pure muscle, is like this. I'm throwing the elastic band against the whiteboard here. But if you're taking advantage of the SSC and taking advantage of all the elastic properties of the muscles, the tendons, the fascia, as well as reflexes, I'm going to talk about that in a second, it's like you got the elastic gun. It's a lot more powerful. Okay? So a couple things with that is you've got to do it right away. You can't stretch it, wait, and then try to take advantage of that force, because it won't happen. It'll dissipate. So it's a little bit different than an elastic band like that, because you can't just stretch it, hold it, and then you're going to get all that elastic force. And the reason why that is, possibly, is because of some reflexes in the body. One is the muscle spindle reflex, or the myotatic stretch reflex. Now, what that is whenever a muscle is lengthened, especially if it's lengthened quickly, like if you're doing a counter movement in a jump, you dip quickly and then you go and explode up, or like Barboza did here, he stepped back and then quickly exploded forward to generate that force. What happens is when the muscles lengthen very rapidly like that, the muscle spindles send a message to the brain to say, hey, muscle, contract, so that you don't get ripped apart, basically. It's kind of a protective reflex, but it also could be a power developing reflex. Who knows what the creator was thinking when he gave it to us. But what it's all about is if you go from a counter movement right into it rapidly, you take advantage of that neuromuscular explosion and contraction of the muscle right away. If you wait, you don't get that, and you generate less power. It's like squatting down, waiting for 2 seconds, and then jumping. You don't take advantage of that elastic power. This is also what plyometrics is all about, or ballistic training is all about. It's also known as reactive power. That's the term that I like to use best, because plyometrics, You know, people are just thinking you hop around like a rabbit and that's plyometrics, doing all these funny jumps. That's not plyometrics. I like to think of it as reactive power, where you're taking advantage of this counter movement, the elastic properties and the neuromuscular properties of the body to maximize your power and your explosiveness. Okay, so that's pretty much my lecture, I guess, on the SSC and how to maximize your power. Now, I wanted to give you a simple drill that you can use when you go train, when you go to the club. It's just with hooks on the bag. All I want you to think about is rotating the torso and then letting the arm come up. Almost think of it like a chain, or think of you have an elastic band in your shoulder, and then you come first with the shoulder, the hip rotation and the shoulder rotation, and then you follow it up with the shoulder to finish the hook. Okay, so it's not like a stiff hook like this. This wheelchair actually makes it pretty handy to do these little demos. It's not as stiff, your arm's not stiff, and you're not rotating all as, see, I'm rotating as one piece here. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is rotate first, my arm trails, and then I finish with the shoulder there. And that's how you develop maximal striking power. So a lot of guys do that naturally, but maybe if you don't know how to do it so much because you just don't have it naturally, that natural ability and that natural gift to pick things up like that without understanding them fully, maybe this understanding will help you pick it up better and actually train it. So you just do it kind of, you don't do it slow, but you do it smooth. So you rotate and then you whip the shoulder into it. So you can actually feel this stretch a little bit, and then you contract the shoulder and the pecs to bring the arm up and to whip it around and take advantage of that elasticness, that SSC in the body that we can use to knock motherfuckers out, pretty much, okay? So that's the BIOMECH breakdown today. I hope to do more of these, but I need ideas. I need you guys to tell me what you want me to do. Okay, actually I might do a Superman punch. If you want me to do the Superman punch next, let me know in the comments section below. To make sure that you get the video right away, subscribe up above. Okay, don't forget to hit like, all that good stuff. If you like this video, of course. If you didn't like it, don't hit like. Don't hit unlike either, that'll hurt my feelings. Alright guys, I'm out. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. Peace.